Joel, last week, the Trump administration brokered a deal to normalize relations between Israel and the United Arab Emirates. Both sides said they hope it will lead to other Arab countries enhancing relations with Israel. How do you think a Biden-Harris administration would work toward that goal?
Thanks, Lauren. So the deal that they brokered is a good day. It's a good day to have peace between Israel and its neighbors. The challenge, though, is the follow through. And the Trump administration has been very poor on its follow through on multiple international issues. And within the Israel context as well, it has not been able to spur an Israeli-Palestinian dialogue. And that's where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris can come in and lay a strong foundation for getting towards Middle East peace. They have experience. They are seen as friends of Israel. They are seen as friends of diplomacy and of the Arab world as well. And Joe Biden has a steady hand and follow through. So I'm optimistic that Joe Biden can build on this. I don't think that President Trump has what it takes to ensure that we do get to a peace agreement between the Israelis and the Palestinians, which is the ultimate prize. And it's one that has been elusive for some time.
Now, under the Obama-Biden White House, the administration entered the U.S. into the Iran nuclear deal, and President Trump has since withdrew the U.S. from that deal in 2018. So what does a Biden-Harris White House mean for denuclearizing Iran?
Yeah, we've seen a real collapse of America's reputation around the world because of the withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal. Just last week, the United States put a vote up at the Security Council to try to maintain sanctions, arms sanctions against Iran, and we only got one vote alongside us, the single worst vote at the UN Security Council in our history. So our Iran policy is in shambles. We've allowed Iran to begin to restart its program because we withdrew from it. And so Joe Biden on day one is going to have an Iran policy that's realistic, that gets us back into that kind of a framework and that kind of plan. But we do need to make sure that Iran complies as well. So this will take work. But Joe Biden has a long history of countering nuclear proliferation, from his time in the Senate when he chaired the Foreign Relations Committee to supporting nuclear agreements with Russia, like the New START agreement. He's been a longtime champion of nuclear arms control and knows what he's doing, unlike Donald Trump, who seems to be throwing out different ideas with, again, no follow through. North Korea as another example, where basically he met with Kim Jong-un and got nothing out of it for our efforts at denuclearizing North Korea.
Now, there's a lot of focus on Israel when it comes to courting Jewish voters, but I mean, the reality is that's just one issue. So what other platform issues do you see as important to Jewish voters?
It's a curious thing. Israel is deeply important to the Jewish community, but in poll after poll, when Jewish voters rank what they vote on, Israel comes in at the bottom. Jewish voters are like American voters overall. We vote on healthcare, we vote on the environment, we vote on the economy. Another major issue that we vote on is anti-Semitism. And on that card, Donald Trump scares the American Jewish community because of his allegiance, in many ways, with white nationalists, with white supremacist rhetoric, with the kind of both sides are equal and fine after Charlottesville. That kind of language really makes American Jews nervous. And in 2018, Jewish voters voted 79% for the Democratic candidates in the House races. So we care about American issues. We care about Israel, but we vote on bread and butter American issues and are a reliably Democratic constituency. In fact, historically, the best performing Democratic constituency outside of the African American community.
Democratic strategist Joel Rubin, thank you for your insight.
Thank you.